8 out of 10 hospital bills contain at least one error. Let me say that again. 80%. And the average mistake? It costs patients around $1,300. That's not a typo. That's your money, possibly thousands of dollars, sitting in a bill you probably tossed in a drawer hoping it would go away. But here's the good news. Once you know what to look for, spotting these errors is actually easier than reading a restaurant menu. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how. Hey there, I'm so glad you're here. I've spent 15 years helping regular folks like you decode medical bills and fight back against overcharges. I've seen patients save $500. I've seen patients save $50,000. And the difference between those two outcomes? It almost always comes down to one thing: knowing how to actually read your bill. So in the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through the 3 things every hospital doesn't want you to know. First, the bill they send you isn't really the bill, and I'll show you the document you actually need. Second, I'll give you the 5 most common errors that drain your bank account. And third, I'll walk you through a real example so you can see this in action. By the end, you'll have the confidence to open any medical bill and say, "Wait a minute, that's not right." Stick with me, because the very last tip I share could save you hundreds, even thousands, of dollars on a single bill. Okay, let's start with the biggest secret in medical billing. The bill you got in the mail? That thing with the giant total at the top and a little payment slip at the bottom? That is not the document you need. What hospitals send you is called a summary bill. Think of it like getting a grocery store receipt that just says food, $312. You'd never accept that at the grocery store, right? You'd want to see every single item. The bread, the milk, the weirdly expensive organic blueberries. Same thing here. What you need to ask for is called an itemized bill. Sometimes it's called a detailed statement. This is the document that lists every single charge, line by line, every pill, every gauze pad, every minute in the operating room. And here's the kicker. Hospitals are legally required to give it to you, but they almost never send it automatically. You have to ask. So your first action step today is simple. Pick up the phone, call the billing number on your statement, and say these exact words: "I'd like to request a fully itemized bill with billing codes for my recent visit. Please mail or email it to me." That's it. They'll send it within 7 to 10 business days. No itemized bill, no negotiation. This is non-negotiable. Now while you're waiting for that itemized bill, let's grab another document, your EOB. EOB stands for Explanation of Benefits. If you have insurance, your insurance company sends you one of these after every visit. The EOB is basically a receipt from your insurance. It says, "Here's what the hospital charged us. Here's what we agreed to pay. And here's what you owe." Now here's the trick: the amount on your EOB and the amount the hospital is billing you should match exactly. And you'd be shocked how often they don't. If your EOB says you owe $400 but the hospital is billing you $1,200, that is a 4-alarm fire. Stop right there. That's a billing error, plain and simple, and you do not pay a penny until it's resolved. Alright, now let's get to the really good stuff. Once you have your itemized bill in hand, here are the 5 errors I see most often. Get out a highlighter. I want you to actually mark these up on your own bill. Error number 1, duplicate charges. This is the most common mistake by a mile. Hospitals use multiple computer systems, and sometimes one charge gets entered twice. So you might see 4 insertion billed twice on the same day, or 2 charges for the exact same lab test. Scan your bill and look for any line item that appears more than once on the same date. If you see duplicates, circle them. Error number 2, phantom charges. These are charges for things that never actually happened. A medication you didn't take. A test you didn't get. A visit from a specialist you never met. Hospitals will sometimes charge for an entire day in a recovery room when you went home that morning. Compare every line item to your memory of the visit. If you don't remember it, write a question mark next to it. Error number 3, upcoding. This is a big one, and it's where hospitals make a lot of extra money. Upcoding is when a hospital bills for a more expensive service than what you actually received. For example, a routine 15-minute office visit gets billed as a complex 45-minute consultation. Or a basic stitches procedure gets billed as a major surgical repair. How do you spot it? Look at the billing codes. Every line on your itemized bill has a 5-digit code called a CPT code. You can Google any CPT code and see exactly what it means. If the description doesn't match what happened to you, that's upcoding. Error number 4, unbundling. This one is sneaky. Some procedures are supposed to be billed together as a package deal, like a value meal at a fast food place. You order the combo, you pay one price for the burger, fries, and drink. Unbundling is when the hospital takes that combo and charges you separately for each item. So instead of one surgical package fee, you suddenly have 10 individual line items that add up to way more. You won't always catch this on your own, and that's okay. We'll talk about how to handle it in a minute. Error number 5, and this one is shockingly common, wrong insurance information. The hospital had the wrong policy number, didn't file with your secondary insurance, or filed with an old plan you canceled 6 months ago. Result? Insurance denies the claim and the entire bill lands in your lap. Always check that your correct insurance was billed. Okay, you've highlighted the bill. You found 3 or 4 things that look wrong. Now what? Step 1, do not pay the disputed amount. You can pay parts of the bill you know are correct, but anything in question? Hold off. Step 2, call the billing department and politely walk them through each issue. Use phrases like, I noticed this charge appears twice on the same day, or I'd like clarification on this CPT code. Calm, factual, polite. Step 3, and this is critical, put your dispute in writing. Send a letter or email listing every disputed item with your reasons. This creates a paper trail. Hospitals take written disputes 100 times more seriously than phone calls. Step 4, follow up every 2 weeks until it's resolved. The squeaky wheel gets the grease. Or in this case, the corrected bill. Okay, let me make all of this real for you. Let me tell you about Sarah. Sarah is a 42-year-old teacher from Ohio. She went to the emergency room for severe abdominal pain. Turned out to be appendicitis. Standard appendectomy, 2 days in the hospital. She had insurance. 3 weeks later, she gets a bill for $14,200 after insurance. She nearly fainted. But Sarah had watched a video kind of like this one, so she knew what to do. First, she called the hospital and requested an itemized bill. Took 8 days, but it arrived. Then she sat down with a highlighter and her EOB. Here's what she found. First, duplicate charge for an MRI. $1,800. The MRI happened once, but it was billed twice. Second, a charge for a private room upgrade she never asked for and didn't receive. $1,200 per night, 2 nights, $2,400. Third, she found a charge for anesthesia consultation with a doctor whose name she didn't recognize. Turns out that doctor was out of network, and her insurance never should have allowed the charge to pass through to her. That was another $3,000. Fourth, the surgery itself was upcoded. It was billed as a